Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are here for the first time, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Building Generational Wealth. But in this episode, we are taking it back to the basis, right? To the basics, taking it back to the foundations as we start a beautiful year. So be prepared to have a wonderful, heartfelt conversation with me, your host, Furuferani wa Mashapa, Wananyana wa Muvenda. But I've been rethinking this whole intro. But anyways, maybe as just a point of, order or house call, whatever we want to call it. If you watch these videos and you haven't subscribed, I am begging you, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on amazing content that we will be putting out this year. I am feeling so energized, so relaxed, and I'm ready to hit the ground running in terms of just having amazing, impactful conversations with people who are doing even bigger things this year. And secondly, just to let you know that we do have a website where you can get more of our resources. Exhibit A is this book right here. I've been meeting people and they tell me, oh, we love your channel. We love the work that you're doing. If you really love the channel and really love the work that you're doing, then you will support the work that we're doing by purchasing a copy of Mind Your Sense, which is a practical guide to financial wellness. And also, we have a budgeting template. It's there on our website, mashereni metisgroup.co.za. We also have one-on-one coaching sessions. So if you would like to book a one-on-one session with me, head to our website and look at the prices, look at all the resources that we have so that you can enrich your financial wellness journey. So that was, something important to note as we start the year to say we do have a business. Wherever you see Mashereni Metis Group, that's us. That is us. That's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a generation of people that are financially savvy, people that make great financial decisions, people that are financially literate, people that not only learn about financial literacy, but they teach the next generation as well. They pay it forward. So we're hoping that you will be enriched this year. And so getting down to it, what are we talking about today? So as you can see, I'm alone today. There's no guest, but I felt it would be very important for us to sit down and just lay the ground, lay the foundation, and we will be resolving, or talking around what are the top 3 mindset shifts that I'm taking into 2026. And also, how do you sit down and create your own, money vision board? I spoke about the concept of a money vision board on my Instagram. And so for those who are not following on Instagram, there's amazing content that's being pumped out on a daily basis. You don't want to miss out. It's Furupredani underscore mesh on Instagram. So do follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you search Furupredani Mashapa, you should be able to find me. So today, let's start with, the mindset shifts, or the top 3 really, around the things that I'm taking into 2026. And the contrast is moving from 2024 to 2025. I'm normally the person who will sit down, create a vision board and set my targets and know exactly what I'm going to be doing. But because of, life, moving from 2024 to 2025, I legit went in with zero resolution. I had zero New Year's resolution, zero vision board. And I remember when I was praying about it, it was something that God just laid in my heart to say, I just want you to trust me this year. And looking back at 2025, all the things that I was able to achieve in 2025, I don't think I would have had the insight to write those things down, But moving from 2025 to 2026, there was just a nudge again to say, write the vision down, make it plain. that he may run who reads it. It was that was just like the scripture that was anchoring in my spirit closer to the end of the year, and I was like, okay, 2026 is looking a bit different. We are stepping into it with a very clear vision, and there's been things that in my personal time, in my personal space, in my meditation space, I've sort of been reflecting on, and things that God has been convicting me like personally on, that I want to share like a bit of those. So my first sort of mindset shift that I'm taking into 2026 is basically relooking at the whole concept of provision, right? And the fact that God is my source. And I know I've sort of like said this over and over and over and over and over again on the channel. Like, yes, we talk about finances, we talk about stewarding finances well, but all of it, there's nothing that I do that doesn't flow out from my spiritual walk with God. And sometimes we are so limited, or we limit our own potential based on, where we come from, the things that we've been exposed to, and we don't realize that God is able to do so much more. And I think for me, it has been that, to say sometimes we limit the level of our dreams to, the size of the budgets that we have. We limit the level of our ambition to the budget that we have. And we somehow, as much as we say God is our source, basically our jobs are not our sources, we forget that God is also a God of abundance. He's the God who owns everything. And when we come to him with a blank check, right? He doesn't say this is the limit, this is not the limit. So just really in my own personal space, rethinking and also learning to dream even bigger. Not really considering how much the business is making right now, but like dreaming bigger beyond what the business has been able to accomplish, dreaming bigger beyond what I've been able to like make as an individual, and actually realizing that abundance is there. Like God is the abundance, and God will never run out. So if he will never run out, then why must I limit the size of my ambition, the size of my dreams to what I've experienced in the past, or to what I've been able to attain in the past? So it's really been about challenging myself to dream bigger, to push myself to aim for even bigger things. Like I always post Cayenne on my my WhatsApp. I see it all the time. It's like an inside joke between me and God. But really, for me, that has also been a part of that, to say, do you actually believe that Porsche is attainable? Like, do you believe that financially you'll get to a place where paying for a Porsche won't feel like you are dragging all your life's work, or like all your savings, all your investments and all of that? So that's just like a mindset shift that I'm taking into 2026, to really go back to say, do I really believe that God is my source? And how can I show up as someone who believes that God is the God of abundance, and he's a God who will never run out? So even as I dream, even as I do things, I need to move in a way that says God has abundance, and that abundance is his child. I have access to it. And that then looks different. It looks different in like every area of our lives. Like when you are thinking about God being the God of abundance at work, then you can believe and trust God for that promotion or that increase, because he's the God of promotion, God of increases after all. In your business, you can trust God to give you double what you've been able to make, or even triple or 100-fold of what you've been able to make in the past year. In your planning, in your sending out of proposals, then you're not afraid to charge what you believe is like what you should be charging, because you are not operating from a place of lack. So there has really been just, a reflection on my side around abundance and trusting God for even bigger things than what we've been able to like attain, trusting God for more properties, trusting God for more business ideas, trusting God that we will get more bursaries coming to us to buy the books, Mind Your Sense, for, their students, trusting God for more. Because sometimes we limit, we go like, okay, just because I've worked with two bursaries so far, then that's all it is. But going back to a place where you realize, no, you have a father who owns everything. Why do you show up in the world as someone who has a father who's limited? So that is the first sort of like mindset shift that we are sort of walking into. And the second one is around money really being a tool and not a source of identity. And this has sort of been like an idea as well that I've been grappling with, or an idea that I've been sort of dissecting in my own personal space. Like it's very easy to take money as your identity. Like, say for example, the person with the most amount of money in your family. We never start family meetings before that person arrives. We never make big decisions without that person's input. Whether they may be the youngest person in the family, but because they have money, then it's easy to kind of like then feel like they know everything, and we have to basically listen to them on everything, which, I mean, whichever one, right? But at the end of the day, for that person, it becomes very easy to then think that money is everything, to then think that for as long as I have money, then I can do whatever I want. People will automatically, do what I say and all of that stuff. But it takes character building, and being intentional about what kind of a person do you want to be at the end of the day, so that you're not swayed and you're not moved away because of those things, because of having more than enough. And it's been something that I've been sort of reflecting on a lot, to say money is just a tool. And that also changes how you relate with the money as well, because you're seeing it as a tool. This is something that allows me to make impact. This is something that then allows me to take brands or deals that are more aligned to the values or what I'm trying to build on the channel and all of that. It's a tool that then allows me to impact more people, follow my passion, and all of that stuff. But where you are compromised, or where you don't have money, or when you don't have money, then it's easy to compromise. And I was thinking about this because some brand reached out about something. And fundamentally, as much as I encourage saving, investing, and all of that stuff, there was just a lot of red flags around the conversations we were having. And they were willing to like write down like a big check. I was like, damn. They were willing to write down like a really nice check for it, right? And I was like, well, you can take this cash, run with it, and basically betray what you're trying to do. Or you can stay true to yourself because you understand why you're doing what you're doing at the end of the day. Yes, money will come as a consequence of what you are trying to do, but you cannot compromise what you're trying to build and all of that because you want to get more money. So it says a lot. Can you withstand the test, of actually having that money and not wearing that as an identity, and still be a person of values, still be a person of moral uprightness, regardless of, whether money is involved or not. And that then speaks to how you engage, and what are the things that you are willing to do, or what are the things that you are willing not to do for the sake of you understanding that perhaps not everything is about money. And it's almost like, sometimes it feels like a contradicting idea, because you're like, but we're working so hard, we want to make money, wada. It's true, we want to make money, but I think at the end of the day, what's the point of making all that money, whereas we're not developing the vessel who is going to steward whatever we're making? And the third one is paying myself first but changing it a bit. We speak about, paying yourself first, you're setting aside money for your future self. And lately I've been fascinated about, wealthy people, really wealthy people, and how they see money, how they build, these companies, how they build these businesses that sort of outlive them but change the trajectory of future generations forever. And the biggest thing is wealthy people really, they pay themselves first and they spend whatever is remaining. And now moving into 2026, challenging myself to say, I don't care in whatever shape or form, 40 to 45% of whatever I'm making has to be contributing towards, me building wealth, whether it's investing in more properties, whether it's increasing my debit orders so that I buy more shares on a monthly basis, whether it's me sitting down to cut down on some of the expenses, subscriptions that I've never used. It's, by the way, it's a good time to do that as we begin with the year. Those subscriptions you subscribed a long time ago, but you've really been on that app. It's such a good time to then say, what can I do to ensure that, as I build generational wealth, what I'm trying to do is aligned with exactly what I'm trying, whatever that I do on a monthly basis is aligned with this picture or this vision that I have in my mind that I am trying to bring to pass. So those are some of the three things around mindset, around, reflections that I've sort of been digesting a lot around to say, but what kind of you're going to be wealthy, yes, but what kind of a wealthy person do you want to be? And the interesting thing is, of course, there are no formulas and stuff, but as we move, as we grow, we take, learn, and we are willing to try things, and if they don't work out, we move on and all of that. So those are just like my top three that I'm sort of like using as guides as we venture into 2026 and do all the amazing things that we want to do. And I'd love to hear from you as well. What are sort of mindset shifts that you're taking? Or what are some of the things that you've always believed that you are challenging or resuscitating or like improving as you walk into 2026? I would really love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and just engage. I really, really would love to hear what you are working on and what 2026 is sort of looking like for you. And so as we are wrapping that up, this is just another reminder for you to subscribe if you haven't, and to also turn on the notification bell so that every single time we release a new video, you definitely don't miss out. So we hear the mindset shifts, right? There are amazing things that we want to do in 2026 and all of that stuff. But how do we then start applying these mindset shifts immediately in our lives, like immediately? And that's where, this whole concept of a money vision board sort of helps to tie basically the two worlds, because at every given point in time, I almost think of it as there's the me that is here, my present self, right? And there's a me that I'm chasing, my future self. I sort of have an idea or a picture of, how wealthy I want that person to be, what I really would like that person to spend their time like doing and all of that stuff. There's you almost like every single day you then make decisions that will then bridge the gap between the two people. And so your money vision board really is just a visual reminder of what you want as an individual, why you want it, and who you must become to basically sustain, this vision that you have around yourself, your family, or like the people that are important to you. So I'm going to read out like a couple of steps around how I created mine. I will be printing my one this week to sort of like see it there every single day to remind myself of this is why I work so hard. This is why I am building a business. This is why I am, improving myself on a daily basis so that I'm able to become the person who's able to sustain the things that I am trusting God for. So step one is you need to start with a feeling, right? And not a thing. And it's often very interesting that it's most of the time when we think about, okay, what's your vision? What's your goal? We rarely think about how I want something to make me feel. It's very easy. It's like a default setting where you immediately think about this is the thing that I want. But we never think about like, how do you want to feel? And so when you're setting your money vision board, you start with a feeling and not a thing. I know you want to get a car. I know you want to buy a house. I know you want to be a billionaire. You want to be a millionaire. I know you want to be debt free. You want to be all these things. But start with a feeling. The thing, yes, we get. The thing we get. But start with a feeling. How do you want money to make you feel? Do you want money to make you feel confident? Do you want money to make you feel calm? Do you want money to make you feel stress-free? Do you want money to make you feel empowered? Do you want money to make you feel independent? Like, how do you want money to make you feel? As you journeying through 2026, what do you want money to make you feel? And as I was reflecting on this, I was like, I want money to make me feel free. And really, as we unpack that feeling, I want it to make me feel free from, the having to work. I want money to give me freedom for me to be generous without feeling like I'm breaking the bank, to be generous to my family, generous to my local church, generous to people that I want to impact without necessarily feeling like I'm breaking the bank or like I'm taking away from something, whatever. To have the freedom really to follow my own dreams, passion, to travel, like as much as I can. One of the things I dream about is really seeing the world. And when I do travel, I make sure I see and I do as much as I can. Like if you've seen pictures from my travels, you will see I am a tourist of note. I will rest when I come back. I'm not the kind of people that go on vacation or whatever, like that travel for the sake of like resting. I go to explore. I go to immerse myself in the history, the culture, immerse myself in, the food, immerse myself in conversations with different people. And I often find like when I'm traveling, I'm less guarded. And I don't know why. I'm less guarded, but I guess you're outside of South Africa, you go to like a safe country. You're like less guarded and you just like let yourself be, let yourself go a bit to learn and immerse yourself and really just be present and capture and take in as much of the experience as possible. So freedom to be able to do that, to feel free, to actually just decide like, I need a sabbatical for 6 months. Sabbatical for 6 months before 30 and just do nothing. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to do nothing. But like, yeah, basically just go somewhere and live a different life and then come back and experience that, whatever you want to experience. Or the freedom to say, I'm done with corporate. I want to go full time into entrepreneurship and all of that. So for me, that's sort of my feeling, that freedom to be free of debit orders, free of adulting bills and responsibilities, free of, having to work long hours and all of that, So that's really my feeling and where I want to start. Like, that's basically it. Freedom that money gives you. And step 2 is you need to choose a core money category that you sort of want to be working towards. And I'll just run you down like some of the categories you can consider. And if there's one thing that having coaching clients is teaching me, it's teaching me compassion. It's very easy to like judge people, it's very easy to sort of, look at someone's spreadsheet, budget spreadsheet, and be on some, oh, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever with this. But like sitting down with someone and chatting to them, it gives you perspective. There's this beauty that it gives you, that perspective and that compassion when you hear the story behind the numbers that you see. And often the stories behind the numbers that we see, those then drive what the numbers at the end of the day should look like. So when you sit down and you think about your 2026, it's also important to say, but what's my story? What am I? What I've been given a blank page for 2026. What am I trying to basically achieve this year? What does that story sound like? If I had to explain my finances to someone else, what does that story, look like? What does that story entail? What are the main characters in that story? So running down, different categories to sort of work towards, which you can pick and decide, this is my priority for 2026. One is the issue around security, right? Like, what would make you feel safe financially? Is it getting an insurance? Is it ensuring that your car is covered, your houses are covered? Before recording this, we are talking about the floods that are happening back at home and all of that, and how this one person's house, they built their house on a mountain or like a hill kind of vibe, and then the soil or whatnot, or the wall behind their house collapsed on the house, and the house is now damaged, right? So it's things like that. Like, do you have peace of mind knowing that should something happen to your house, you're not going to be able to rebuild it and all of that? So do I need to now and then get insurance for my possessions, like my car and my house? And if you combine the two, as we've mentioned in this channel, it's cheaper because you're diversifying your risk. And so it's things like that. What would make me sleep better at night, basically? Is it knowing that my children's education is fully funded? Is it knowing that should something happen to me, my family will be taken care of financially? Is it, me getting to a space where I am debt free? And so should I lose my job or something happens to me, then, I know that I won't have to worry about where will I stay, or won't have to worry about people calling me, harassing me to make all these payments that I owe them and all of that. Is it getting my business to a point or a space where we have multiple streams of income? So even if one division of the business is not working well, the other divisions can help sort of pull everything up at the end of the year. So it's you deciding, like, what would make me feel safe financially? What would make me sleep better financially? Is it me having emergency savings, right? Because, every single day my prayer in the morning is like, Lord, may that tire not punch, because if the tire punches, then I will have to go into my credit card to replace it and all of that stuff. So what would help you sleep better at night? And is 2026 sounding like a year where you help yourself sleep better at night by taking actions or doing things that will then help in terms of that security? And then lifestyle wise, right? I think we have this culture. I sort of think of it as, in South Africa, we have this culture of, buying a car that's like it's one of your biggest accomplishment as someone who's working and all of that. It's sort of become part of our culture. The first big purchase that a lot of people sort of do when they start working, I mean, we can argue whether it's right or wrong, is essentially buying a car, right? For other people, it's like, I want to live in an apartment or a house that really reflects, my taste. Or I want to change things back at home. I want to renovate the house back at home and all of that. Some people, in terms of lifestyle, it's I want to eat better, or I want to start taking care of my health in a better way. So maybe I need to start going to the gym. I need to go for Pilates and all these things, different things that people want to sort of do in order to improve their lifestyle. Or I want to start traveling so that I see more countries. I think for me, the challenge is now like every single year, I need to at least visit one other African country than the one I was born in, South Africa and all of that. So then this year, it means when I invest or whatever, I need to also keep that in mind to say, hey, remember what you promised yourself. You want to travel a bit more and see all these countries, see all these beautiful places even more. So that's another category that as we move, slowly ease ourselves into 2026, it's another category that maybe can be a priority for you just for this year to say, I actually want to take myself outside of the country. I want to get myself that passport. There are people, that don't have passports. Maybe this can be something you challenge yourself. Even if I go to Zim or Tanzania or Botswana or Namibia, the nearby countries, or even better, you go to Lesotho, it's right here in the country, or Swaziland, that still counts. They can still stamp, your passport and experience snow for the first time, because we're in South Africa, we don't get snow. Experience snow for the first time. That can be something that you're like, as I venture into this year, this is a category that I can sort of work around. And then another category is growth. And this is something that I personally will be investing in. And I think it's also just a recurring thing that I invest in every single year. But this year, it's also around how do I increase my capacity? I spoke about, abundance and like God being a God of abundance. But this morning, as I was getting ready for church, I was listening to a sermon and they were talking about how the oil never ran out. It's the jars that, that were basically all filled. And though the lady and her sons didn't take a few jars so that they can pour the oil onto, they basically ran out of those jars as much as there were not a few. And they just speak about capacity, right? So increasing your capacity for basically the increase, the abundance, or whatever it is that you basically want to attain. So in essence, increasing your capacity can look like, how can I manage my time better so that I'm able to perform well at work and be a good steward of that part of your life? Because at the end of the day, work is your worship unto God. So how do I perform better at work? And how do I also show up better for the business, right? And the people that God has entrusted me with? And what sacrifices can I make to increase my capacity so that on both fronts, I'm able to do my best and really glorify God in how I do things. But also sometimes it's also identifying like, what are the gaps in my knowledge? And how can I go about, filling those gaps? There was a course that I saw on Instagram from UCT short courses, UCT online, Get Smarter, something around, tax laws in South Africa. I'm like, I'm getting more and more clients, as much as I'm not a tax expert, I'm getting more and more clients who are entrepreneurs, right? And we can't talk about finances without also talking about like tax implications of the things that they do. So I was like, actually, I screen grabbed it and I was like, this is one of the courses I want to do this year to empower myself and just understanding, tax laws in South Africa better. And also that will help with my work as well, because we deal with businesses and all of that. Tax and debt go together. Tax deductibility of debt that you put into the business matters as well. So it's things like that. But for some people, it might be, how do I get the promotion? How do I, show that I'm ready for the next level and all of that stuff? how can I improve my finances? What do I need to read? Mind your sense to improve your finances. What do I need to watch? All the videos in this channel to get your finances to the next level. But it's like, what goals or what things can I do to grow? Not only grow myself, but grow my business, grow, the capacity for me to be able to do the things that can, help me in building generational wealth or help me to be more effective in whatever area that I want to, basically, whatever area of my life that I want to improve. But at the end of it, the core message is you are the CEO of your life. And as far as your capacity, your skills, your next level is concerned, you cannot afford to be nonchalant around those things because you are the ultimate CEO of your life. So it's not about knowing exactly, like having a full 10-year, 10 steps plan. And this is the most ridiculous thing that I've learned is nobody knows what they're doing. My parents don't know what they're doing. Your parents don't know what they're doing. Your boss at work doesn't know what he's doing. His boss doesn't know what he's doing. We're all just trying to figure it out, right? And in one of my, crazy moments, I have this outburst of just like thought in my car as I go to work sometimes. I was thinking about it this week and I'm like, honestly, at the end of the day, we are just making decisions and choices every single day that are drawing us closer to whatever future that God has in store for us. Like it's all grace. Like you never know for sure. Even with my clients at work, I look at it and I'm like, they took a chance, right? With some of the crazy business ideas that they have. They took a chance and they were willing to try. And for some reason, it worked out eventually. But had you asked them when they were starting out, whether they knew that what they were trying to do was going to work out or not, it was uncertain. They didn't know. But eventually it worked out and they ended up, where they are right now. So as the CEO of your life, then you have the decision to make, which is around, I am going to be willing to be brave and courageous enough to make decisions, even the ones that scare me. And I'm going to be brave enough to give things a try. And when we give things a try, if we knew how, whether something was going to work out or not, life will be so much easier, right? Because then you're like, oh, knock, knock. Oh, this is not going to work out. You're like, never mind. You can close that door. But it's all just a big adventure in, you open this door, it leads to that door, and then you open that door and you realize that was the wrong door. You close it, you go open another door and you realize maybe not quite. And then there's another door or another window that you venture into that, maybe behind that door, that's where, things will eventually work out for you. But it then becomes important for you to say, well, I then need to invest in my growth and invest in me being a person that is not afraid to try, even when things are uncertain or the result is uncertain. Because, how many things in life are certain, right? Death and Texas maybe. But like all the other things, all the other decisions, how that company or that new job will be like, you don't know until you land there. You choose hoping that you made the right decision, but some of the things will only be made clear when you are already in the fire. So be someone who's willing enough to say, I'm the CEO of my life and I'm willing to try out things. And then the last one, or the last category under step 2 that you can sort of look into is around legacy and impact, right? And this is where you ask yourself, but who is going to benefit from me basically getting this plan right? Who's going to benefit from, me building my multi-million dollar Mashereni Metis Group company? Who's going to benefit from that? And who's going to benefit from me leaving behind a legacy? Who's going to benefit from me living a sacrificial life or living a life of discipline? Although everything inside of me wants to sleep on a Sunday afternoon after church. Like, who is going to benefit from the sacrifices of waking up early in the morning, right? And that then becomes, the thing that you always remind yourself of to keep going. Because at the end of the day, what is it all for? Who is it all for, really? And those are the people that you keep close to your heart. And I think for me, my main driver is my family. And now, end of Jan, we're going to Cape Town to sort of celebrate my fellowship and all of that stuff. Asa is throwing us this amazing dinner at a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And in my mind, I was just thinking, like, moments where I get to share experiences with my family, whether they're like trying out something for the first time, those are moments that I cherish the most, right? Moments where I'm able to say, oh, I'm going to do this for them, I'm going to do that for them. And it gives me so much joy to be able to be in a position where I get to do that for them. For me, ultimately, those are the people that I know will benefit, from my hard work. Those are the people that I know will benefit from every sweat and every tear and every single effort that I put in. Like, it's all nothing without those people. Those are the people that it's all for. So for you as well, like, it's important to sit down and reflect to say, but who is it really all for, right? Is it for other people? Is it, who is it really for? Is it for yourself? Who is it really for? At the end of the day, who gets to benefit from all of this, all that I'm trying to do? And then step 3, you select images that represent what you want. Like, for sure, my money vision board will have a Porsche Cayenne GTS, like, for sure. But you then select images that are a reflection of what you want. Say, you want to secure a future for your kids. Then you put out, a graduation picture or whatever, a good future for your kids picture kind of look like. If you're aspiring towards traveling more this year, put those destination places, your holiday destinations, put them there. Like, get the nicest picture. Yesterday with my business partner, we ended up looking at Switzerland, and just like Instagram started recommending videos of Switzerland and all of that, because we're hyping ourselves up. We're like, we need to hit 1 million this year, like, we need to hit 1 million in our business and all of that. And we're like, destination Switzerland will be, the sort of like vacation or the rest after a full year of hard work. So put those things down and let them be things that are meaningful to you. Like, every single time when I see a Porsche Cayenne GTS, for me, it's such a big reminder of my dreams. It's such a big reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's such a big reminder of why I'm sacrificing my time, why I'm sacrificing, my 20s, why I'm working so hard in my 20s, why I'm making moves I'm making, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's such a big reminder of the dreams that I have, and such a big motivation to like see it and to be able to say, one day this is the car we will be rocking up with, and not really for other people, but for myself. Like, that will be my thank you to myself kind of vibe. And then step 4, you need to add numbers, right, to your dreams. Add numbers to the things that you want. And it's so easy to say, oh, I want my business to do well. But you need to be specific. How well do you want your business to do? Like, how well is this business doing, right? Like, is it 1 million 10 over kind of doing well? Is it 2 million 10 over kind of doing well? Like, what kind of doing well is this that you're talking about, right? And writing that down, like, okay, I want to sell 1,000 copies of Mind Your Sense in 2026. That's a number right there. I want to invest 5,000 in unit trust on a monthly basis. That's a goal right there. That's 60,000 at the end of the year. I want to max out my tax-free savings account. That's 33,000 in a tax year. So have numbers to whatever you are trying to build, or whatever you're trying to do. I want a salary increase. Be very specific. I want a 20% salary increase. It will take me from 1 million to 1.2, things like that. Like you need to be very specific in you setting up all these goals and all of that stuff. And then step number 5, which something that I believe in religiously, is confessions. Like you have to speak into your own life. And you keeping quiet is doing a disservice to yourself. It's doing a disservice to your family. It's doing a disservice to your kids and your future generation, because you've been given the power to speak unto yourself. And we curse ourselves so many times, like daily. We curse ourselves because we are reckless in what we say around, ourselves. You will never hear me. You will never hear me say, I'm not gonna be successful. You will never hear me say I'm not gonna amount to nothing. You will never hear me say, I'm gonna be broke, or I'm broke, or whatever. Those are words that I take seriously, because I'm like, I don't want to be creating a reality with my words that is ultimately against the dreams that I have. So as a result of that, I have a confession. Remember the confession I had for work? The confession, it's on another video. But I have a confession for my finances. I've had this since I think 2023 or something. And this is something that, the goal is to do it daily. But if I can't do it daily, I make sure that every single week I at least recite this over my finances. So it goes like, in the name of Jesus, I declare by faith that my finances are blessed, that I'm a good steward of what God places in my hands. Whatever God puts in my hands, I multiply it and make more than 100-fold. I shall close the holes eating away from my finances. I do not drown in debt, neither do I lose sleep over financial stress. And I declare that I'm a lender, not a borrower. I shall lend to many nations and borrow from none. I have multiple streams of income. My side hustles, businesses, and job, they are marked by God Himself. They are divinely blessed and favored. The Lord is increasing my share and influence in the marketplace. I'm recommended, I'm referred, and rated highly for my services. My storehouses and barns are overflowing. I operate from a place of abundance and not lack. Financial generosity is my portion. I honor the Lord with my wealth. I'm a cheerful giver. For all I give out, I receive back a good measure, pressed down, shaken, and overflowing. My money never runs out. My cup always overflows. My blessings overflow and pour from heaven, such that I do not have room to contain them. Whatever need I have shall be fulfilled. For my God provides for all my needs according to His glorious riches in Christ Jesus. I increase greatly in wealth and net worth. My hands are diligent and they bring wealth. My wealth shall be enjoyed not only by my household, but even generations to come. In Jesus' name, amen. So these are confessions that I have around my finances and what I'm trying to build, my business, all of that stuff. So it becomes important for you to say, cool, I have this beautiful, written out, picture filled, colorful money vision board. But as a prophet in your own life, what are you professing? What are you saying about your finances? Because it's one thing to have these beautiful dreams, this beautiful vision board that you've put here, but you are killing daily with your words. You are killing daily with, the things that you say to either other people or say to yourself. So this thing of my money never runs out, it's so funny. Like when I put the line there, I don't know. I was like, God, I don't want to be in a space or a place where I'm out of money. And it's so crazy. Like you confess things, and over time you realize your own life aligns to those things. Like God will take care of me, and I know it will never run out. It will come through different channels, different ways, But like, because that's the confession that I make, it doesn't run out. So it's important to have your own confessions and have things that you say that are aligned with the things that you are aspiring or the things that you are moving towards. And then step number 6 is to include a habit corner. Like, dreams are amazing, a beautifully written vision, money vision board sitting there on your fridge or whatever is very beautiful, whatever. But you need to then create habits that sustain what you are trying to build. So have those monthly check-in dates. Today was actually my first solo date for like 2026, where I sat down and I was just journaling, having coffee, just checking in with myself and like unpacking what do I want to do, what do I want to achieve, how am I going about it, what am I happy about in my own life, what am I not happy about, what do I want to do differently, and all of that. So include these little habits, monthly financial check-ins. If you're married or you have a partner or whatever, and you guys manage your finances together, then it becomes, let's have like a family finances date, or let's go out and talk about, our finances and how things are looking and what we can do better, what we've been able to do better. And going forward, what are some of the things that we can carry forth? Let's talk about how we want to leave a legacy as a couple. How do we want to integrate, our finances? How do we want to invest our finances so that we have, they also make impact, not only in our lives or our family, but also like outside of the family home and all of that stuff. So it becomes important to have these check-ins, because ultimately you will fall to the level of your habits at the end of the day. If you don't have a budget, then it becomes important. Before my salary comes in, before I spend it, let me find, my budget. Let me put down that budget and move forward. If you are someone who struggles to save or to pay yourself first, then have that debit order. Money comes in, it goes out, you don't even see it, you don't have to think about it, so that at the end of the day, you have systems in place that keep you in check. And every single month this year, you go back to this vision board and say, are we still aligned? Does this still make sense? And sometimes we feel like, because beginning of the year, this is what I wanted to do, but now life has happened and I need to pivot, then I'm locked in. No, we look at it and say, does this still make sense? Are we still pursuing this? And then we continue. If it doesn't make sense, it's more than okay to pivot and do something else that needs, to be prioritized. Because, life happens, life is dynamic. We can't expect, life to be static and our plans to be static. Whereas life is dynamic. So it becomes important to have those habit corners to say, I'm setting aside time to just generate ideas around how I can make more money, or brainstorm with my team and say, how can we be more efficient and serve our customers better? How can we make more money as a business? What opportunities can we tap into to grow our revenue or grow our customer base? All of those things. And then step number 7 is create and print out your money vision board and place it somewhere where you can see it daily. And for me, my biggest place, if I want to achieve something, I remember even with my fellowship journey, I legit had put the whole ASA roadmap, and I was ticking things to say, I already got this exemption, I already did this course, I already met this requirement. And I was like, I had even written it will end in FASA. Because that's what I wanted to achieve. And every single day when I open my fridge, I see the roadmap to remind myself of why we need to study. So those reminders are important, so that your mind is constantly reminded of what you are trying to do. And when you are tempted to, deviate from what you are trying to do or the goals you've set for yourself, then you are reminded of why you are doing what you're doing to begin with. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a purple heart in the comment section. I absolutely appreciate all the people that keep coming back to the channel, people that have subscribed, people that are subscribing, people that share this content, people that are buying the book, people that are booking one-on-one coaching sessions, people that are buying the budgeting spreadsheet. I truly, truly appreciate you. And let's meet again in the next video. And I hope you have yourself a beautiful, beautiful weekend and the rest of the week. Bye.